It's April 5th, 2015, and we want to know, in space, can no one hear you complain about your dad booting you out of a spaceship?
Will Kelly read Batwoman now that it's about the Sorcerer's Stone, or will she just get mad that it's not being called the proper British Philosopher's Stone?
All this and more is coming up next. It's Season 2, Ep 26 of DCR, starting now.
We rescue a world from mysticism and tyranny, and usher in a future brighter than anything we can imagine.
Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's
Distress Citizens Radio.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the normal time episode of DCR, where we're talking about what, Brian?
The new 52?
Well, yeah, comic books.
Yeah.
Just comic books in general, even. It's back on track. I feel like we wandered astray last week for some odd reason. I don't know why. I just don't know why. But for those of you that did listen, that was our annual April Fool's episode. Most of you figured that out, but we did have a couple questions asking about why we were changing formats. We do that every year. So every year, you guys are in on the joke now if you've been around for a year. And the new folks that come along get to be confused and try to figure out what's going on.
Thanks to everyone that wanted to just continue as a Disney podcast, though.
There was quite a few of those,
Yeah.
surprisingly enough. But, of course, I remain your host, Sean Lamont, comic book reader extraordinaire, and I am joined...
Oh, you announce people's names at the beginning of podcasts?
Yeah, I think,
Man.
I think you're supposed to do that. Give you hosting duties one episode, and look what you do.
Yeah.
But also joined by the less competent host, Mr. Brian Glein. Hello, sir.
Hey, Sean, how's it going?
Not too bad. And that's all we got for this week, because we're going to be making some good time as we're clipping through some books as we wrap up the New 52. Well, kind of. It's like the penultimate New 52 ending, because we have a couple stragglers at the end of the month. But this is most of the books coming to their close at the end of the New 52 before Convergence. And Brian, why don't you tell the folks, since Kelly is preoccupied, what it is that they need to beware of?
Spoilers.
Yes.
We're going to be spoiling everything that happened in the New 52. What day was this that they came out?
This would have been Wednesday, I believe.
They came out this past one day. Yes, so they're going to be going over plot, beats, character motivations,
No one
story
ever
points.
gets it. Come on. But as such, you guys have been properly forewarned. There are spoilers ahead. Since we are doubling up on episodes, we're recording this one and then this coming Sunday's episode at the same time since we fell behind. We are going to skip over on questions. I promise you we will get back into them here very, very soon. We do have a backlog to dig through. So, Brian, what say you? Let's just lunge again into this week's books.
All right, we are starting off with Superman Wonder Woman number 17.
I heard they were having fun on a bridge.
Yes, they were.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
They're having fun on a bridge.
Well, Superman Wonder Woman, they're punching up Cersei and Magog, and then they got transported to Cersei's hideout where she's making like animal people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like puppet pals? Or just like shadow animal things on the wall? Or like actual animal people?
Like manger babies almost.
Do they play the drums? Animal beat drums. That's all I know.
Okay.
Hey, you got your Muppets reference in.
I suppose, yeah. Superman, he's been mind-controlled by Cersei. That was our big cliffhanger last month. And Wonder Woman has been chained up. It's a chain watch.
Uh-oh.
But it's Wonder Woman who's chained.
Well, Superman's there.
Yeah.
Does that send him into a berserker rage, destroying all chains in sight?
It's possible, but he's being mind-controlled, so he's not destroying her chain.
Oh, well, he's not in his proper faculties, that's all.
Yeah, so Cersei gives Wonder Woman the choice to either go through a portal to save people from Magog, or stay behind to save Superman. So Wonder Woman is, of course, going to go save the innocent people. So she goes to fight Magog, and he wants to string her up by her lasso, but she doesn't have her lasso.
Hey, where'd she put it?
Yeah, she left it behind because as soon as Superman accidentally touches it, he goes back to normal and can't be permanently magicked. He was only partially magicked before.
Okay.
And if Cersei had enough time, she would be able to do the permanent magic.
So no full frontal magicking here.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, she had just like a Bic magic.
Okay.
She had to find her Sharpie magic.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Stupid washable magic.
I know. So, Cersei runs away to fight another day, and Superman and Wonder Woman team up to punch out a 12-year-old in Magog. Because Magog is a 12-year-old.
He's not currently in the form of a 12.
Yes.
It's like Shazam getting punched in the face.
Yeah, so he, I guess he would make a good Shazam villain now, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I guess so. Now that I just said that would be his counterpart now.
Huh, interesting.
Intriguing indeed.
So he goes back to normal. He loses his magic and his spear, and he gets shipped off in a crate to Argus. This put him in a crate, slap the word Argus on. It's like, he'll get there eventually, right?
Hey, that's where they're keeping all the Man-Bats, too, in the crate back in the warehouse.
Hey.
So it's going to be Magog and the Man-Bats hanging out in the M section together.
So afterwards, Wonder Woman decides to start writing stories like Clark to try to remember the people who were killed in the Apocalypse attack.
I actually really like that ending. I thought that was a really strong ending for her.
I also like that she's terrible at typing.
Yes. Well, not very many typewriters on Themyscira.
Oh, yeah.
Not known for its typewriting. They're already on the word processors.
She's awesome with a...
purple dictation ray?
Purple dictation ring, yes. Stylus, because we actually use that as a regular term now. A stylus and a clay tablet.
Oh,
she's so good with that.
Yes.
She's up to maybe 5 words a minute.
Wow.
That's fast.
That is fast. She doesn't just hit it once with the chisel and all the words just fall out of it. Like a really expert chiseler.
No.
Or whatever they would be called.
That's not a stylus and a clay tablet.
Chiselers.
Yeah.
So what do you think, though, as far as the Superman Wonder Woman team up? Less dealing with Superman stuff and more Wonder Woman stuff.
More Wonder Woman stuff. It was kind of what you classically call as the popcorn action.
It was.
There was some underlying thematic stuff to it, but you kind of had to do some digging by yourself to figure it out.
Okay.
And but for the most part, it's just like, hey, want to see Superman and Wonder Woman punching characters you're familiar with? Hey, that's what's happening.
Want to see these two punch a 12-year-old? You got it.
Got that right. Darn Skippy.
Well, I also have Wonder Woman number 40 as they're wrapping up their New 52 story there. Where what do we call her? McPennishader, I believe.
McPennishader.
Yes.
Crony McPennishader.
Well, Wonder Woman has returned back to Themyscira to find that Darano, aka McPennishader, has made her play to take over the Amazons because she doesn't believe that Wonder Woman is doing the right thing as far as allowing the Manazons to live there and dealing with the outside world all the time instead of focusing in being that isolationist country that I guess they've always been. I guess that's the best way to put it, wouldn't you?
I suppose that's a good way to
Themyscira
put
is
it.
kind of an isolationist. They're
like the Swiss.
I wouldn't say they're isolationists. They'll take your money.
Well, they're neutral. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, this is more like a North Korea.
Okay.
Where no one comes in. No, stay out. This is our place. And that's kind of what they've been doing. But
except Dennis Rodman, you're cool.
Yeah, of course. Dennis Rodman goes anywhere. But in this case, Wonder Woman's been trying to open it up and make it more of a worldly country and allow some sort of communication between all the countries and them. And Darano has created someone by the name of Donna Troy, kind of a clone, kind of a copy, a golem. We don't quite know.
Just like the classic Donna Troy, very hard to explain.
Exactly. We're keeping that kind of standard. We're rolling with the punches here. That entire story.
Eventually, she's going to marry a guy with a red afro with male pattern baldness, and it'll make no sense whatsoever.
Wait, I thought she was going to marry like a new god in New Genesis and have to lose her memories and believe she is actually a deity. Isn't that what she did?
She also married a dude with male pattern baldness and a red afro.
Well, she gets around.
Yeah.
But anyhow, in this case, that is her big thing. The person that's leading up the counterculture to Wonder Woman, trying to open things up. And it comes down to basically a fight must be had. A martial combat will determine who is strong enough to lead the Amazons. But we can't do it right now. So 2 days. So we have some filler here because we want that to be like the big thing after Convergence. So 2 days, everyone go train, do your things, etc., etc. So during her training, what she decides to do to train is go hang out with the Justice League because they have found...
Wait, I'm sorry. He did not have male pattern baldness.
No,
that was just a glorious red afro.
Yeah, that's just.
I'm thinking of Dale Gunn. He had the male pattern baldness, and all the ladies were falling all over him.
He looks like the guy that paints happy little clouds.
He does look a little Bob Rossi, doesn't he? Got the shirt buttoned down to his navel.
Yeah,
I'm surprised he didn't end up with Catwoman.
Paint some happy little trees there with her. But in this case, Wonder Woman's hanging out with the Justice League because they have found out where the leaders of the bug people are that keep making water wash out all of these different places. They know how it works now, Brian. They know exactly how water works.
Yeah, that's right.
So they make their way down inside, and it's this conversation with the Queen of the Bug People and Wonder Woman, where Wonder Woman's going, "You killed all these people. How could you?" And they're like, "Well, we're bug people. I mean, we needed to eat them. That's kind of in our nature. That's what we do."
Was Crony like, "Water, Helen, water"?
But in this case, the Bug Queen tells her that, well, we were happy to be hibernating. Everything was A-okay. But someone, casually pointing at Wonder Woman, threw down some deity firstborn guy into the center of the earth who started shaking and quaking everything that woke us up, and now we have to eat. And Wonder Woman goes, "Oh, crap. I think that was me." And it's kind of this revelation that, oh, well, maybe there's reactions to the things that I do, and maybe I shouldn't just be casually tossing things into the center of the earth. I have to toss them through a portal or the sun, like my boyfriend tells me all the time.
You know, if he wasn't being mind controlled, Superman would have just immediately thrown Wonder Woman through that portal in the last issue.
Just thrown Cersei through the portal back to Earth and be like, "Oh wait, we wanted to go through that."
Yeah.
Can I throw myself through it? How do I do that? How does someone go through a portal other than being thrown?
DJ Jazzy Jeff did it once. How did that work?
But as shocking as that revelation is to Wonder Woman, more dire things are unfolding back on Paradise Island because Donna Troy is leading a group of other Amazons on a full-on slaughter party to kill the Manazons, and they come bursting out of the jungle and start stabbing all their brothers, essentially, the male Amazons, and murdering them incessantly while she goes, "I will defend Themyscira from penises," I guess, for lack of a better term. Kind of a big turn, and as the internet says, how do you pull back Donna Troy from this?
Maybe you don't.
Maybe you don't. I don't know where they're going to go with her, where they can go any direction with her.
Because something was one way before doesn't mean it has to be this way now.
Not only that, but I think they're going to play long form with it. I don't think it's just going to be this arc. She shows up. She's a bad guy. It was a misunderstanding. She's a good guy. I think they're going to play the long game with her, as far as her finding her way back to wherever she's going to end up, whatever her thing is, whether it's more vicious Amazon or whether it's a Wonder Woman copy, I guess, a younger Wonder Woman copy. I don't know what they're going to do with her, essentially, at the end of the day. So I'm waiting just as much as you guys, but that's where it stands right now. Next up, Brian.
All right, Batman Superman Annual number 2, Zaydu the Phantom King.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. He's Superman's new Joker.
Oh, I forgot about this issue. I really like this one.
He is trapped back in the Phantom Zone, so because he can't mess with Superman, he sends out a telepathic nudge to make all of Batman's villains want to kill Clark Kent. All of them.
All of them.
And where is Clark Kent? At Honeymoon Island.
Yep. the best place. You can get a really cheap cruise package there now.
Yeah, very much now. So he just used his super flare to eradicate some lingering doomsday mists.
Ooh.
So now Clark Kent is powerless on an island full of heart-shaped jacuzzis and spinning beds for the next 24 hours.
Well, that doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah. So Batman comes in and has to help fight off a bunch of his own villains, like Cheshire, one of the many versions of Killer Croc, Bane just breaking backs all over the place, and Man-Bats. Man-Bats as far as the eye can see.
They can't just be constrained to Gotham City. They
No.
have to stretch their wings and get out there.
They gotta be free.
You can't cage a man-bat. If you love it, you have to let it free.
Yep.
Go away, man-bats.
Man-Bats. So, Superman teams up with some locals to help save everyone, but in the end, after foiling all of the villains, gets stabbed in the gut by Janice, a character that we'd been tricked into thinking would fall for Clark, because Zaydu made her do it. We go into Convergence with Clark Kent bleeding out. Oops.
Yay! Hey, that's a great cliffhanger, though.
Yeah.
As far as, hey, you got 2 months until we pick this up, so where's the most inopportune place we can leave the story?
Honeymoon
Right here.
Island.
Honeymoon Island, yes, of course.
Our favorite part of the Doomed crossover. Honeymoon Island.
After our 20-minute conversation on the...
Couldn't even come up with a name for it. It's just Honeymoon Island.
Yeah, our conversation on how much the packages were based on how apt Doomsday was to show up and
Yes.
destroy everything. We went with the lesser Doomsday package. Can you just go over to the other side of the island, please?
There's still a percentage of a chance of Doomsday. I'm going to be here.
Yes. So I'm going to move on then, I guess. Did you enjoy that one, though? Were you game? I know that
I liked some of the character stuff. It did just seem like an excuse for the artist to draw Batman villains.
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
I would say it was it's Batman Superman is the name of the book.
Yeah.
And we just got done with a full 6-month arc of all Superman
Is
stuff.
it bad that all I want is some Killer Croc consistency?
Some crocatuity?
I guess.
I was just figuring they were going to give Batman a little bit of love in it because it's been such a long arc of straight Superman stuff.
That is true.
For a long time. So they were like, oh yeah, and Batman's here too. So next up I have Sinestro Annual #1, which I could go for a long time on this book, so I'm going to try to pare it down a little bit just to save us a little bit of time. We're on New Korugar, the planet that he kind of claimed to put all the survivors of Korugar on so he could try to protect them. But someone, and this is the murder mystery of the year, someone has killed nameless Sinestro Corps member number 3152.
Uh-oh.
A murder has been had and a mystery is afoot. And now it's up to the Sinestro Corps to solve this mystery. Who are you going to call? Sinestro. He's the detective. He gets out his pipe and his little hat, and he's going to solve it. Basically, the Korugarians claim innocence. Archillos doesn't believe them, though. He thinks that they're rebelling against all of the Sinestro Corps members, and, of course, Sinestro goes, whoa, I can't have you guys killing each other, so you guys go over here and do this, you guys go over here and do that. I'm going to take Becca, the new god that has just joined the Sinestro Corps, Sornik Natu, my daughter, and Lissa Drac, the crazy book lady. And we're going to go in here.
They're tattoos that only show up when they need to be.
Yes. Well, they're going to come with me and we're going to figure out who it was. And this is the framing device for the backstories of a bunch of members of the Sinestro Corps, because everyone kind of suspects someone different. So, of course, Becca goes, oh, well, I think it's such and such. Everyone goes, well, you just showed up. You're a new god. Maybe you did it. And we get her backstory where she kind of developed her power of everyone loving her really creepily early in her life, like 8, 10, 12-year-old Becca and all the guards of New Genesis kind of going, we love you, Becca. And she's just like, yeah, skeevy, and running inside. And the only people that seem to be immune to the power are her parents, because they already love her as parents, and Highfather himself, but he sees her power as something very potent in a militaristic tool and sends her off to train to be one of the generals. She's always been loved, but she's also never been loved because she can't tell who actually loves her and who is under her powers. Sad little tear rolls down her cheek. Poor Becca. Next one, Lissa Drac's backstory, taken in by her skeevy uncle to live with after her parents were killed, and her uncle wanted to get friendly with her, but was being patient. And her uncle was a sorcerer of great renown, and this dashing young gentleman shows up to read his magical books, but he's hidden all of the really important books from anyone that comes to visit. And of course, Lissa Drac falls head over heels.
This is nothing but cup and ball tricks. What's going on?
Yeah. How to remove my thumb? Why do you even have these books? But Lissa Drac falls
Sponge
hard
rabbits.
for him because he's not her creepy uncle. Obviously, pretty easy choice to make. Dashing young gentleman, creepy uncle. Gonna go with the dashing young gentleman. But he's playing her to try to get her to lead him to the actual real magic books. The uncle finds out, locks him in the basement and kills him, and then leads Lissa down there and locks her in the room with all the magic books and her lover's corpse, and kind of goes about his life for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then goes, oh yeah, I locked my niece down there, and goes to show up and finds that she has picked his bones clean to eat him to stay alive, and has kind of taken on the magical properties of the books and flies off to be her own crazy, sharp teeth, crazy woman that hangs out with Sinestro all the time. Yay, backstory. Archillo's backstory was intriguing to me. He grew up on a peaceful farming planet where all of the other Archillo type people of his species were peaceful farmers that worship this, what's the word I want to use? A duality deity. One side was a saintly person and the other one was a butcher. And he was about to be sworn into this religion when he goes, hey, how are we worshiping this God if all we do is follow the peaceful side of things and we're not doing the whole duality stuff? And they go, oh, you're just a little kid. You don't know anything about that. So when he comes to have his first communion, for lack of a better word, he kills the priest and then just runs around his own planet murdering people because he's the prophet of the other side of his deity. And he will embrace the brutality because he's already lived the peaceful side of things. Yay!
Okay.
It's actually a great page though, where it's all like, had any one of his people lived, they would have worshipped him as a prophet, and it's like, okay, hey, that's pretty cool. Regan Kale was another one who was following Sinestro and fell in love with another Sinestro Corps member named Jezra. She ended up sacrificing herself while they were on a mission. She was getting pulled into a black hole, and when he was trying to grab her, their rings hit each other and detonated, and both of their rings shards are embedded into his arms. That's why if you see him, he is not wearing a ring. The rings are actually embedded under his arms, like in his flesh, and he has spent his life going around wherever his love's ring would say, oh, hey, my replacement's over here on this planet, so let's go over there. He just shows up and murders them because no one's going to take his beloved's ring. Kind of a cool little story for a guy. And last but not least, Des Trevius, who wanted to be the greatest gay samurai that ever lived. That was his goal. He was a peasant on a feudal Japan-type planet, and he wanted to be a samurai, but he was too low of class, fell in love with one of the other samurai guys, and they were lovers, and the samurai trained him, and until the local lord found out about the whole thing and said, we can't really have that in the court, and arranged a marriage, and of course Des Trevius ran in and was like, okay, my lover, we can escape and elope and be samurais together elsewhere, and his lover goes, no, I'm not going to give up my station, I'm cool with just pretending I'm not gay. So have a nice life, Des Trevius. And Des Trevius goes on a murder spree, killing everyone there. And
you'll find your George Hamilton one day.
Yes, someday. And his vow is to kill all of the upper class, no matter who they may be, in any establishment. That's why he's always challenging Sinestro and saying, hey, you're upper class here. So then they go, well, then who do you think it was, Sinestro, if it was none of these people? And what is that beeping sound coming from the middle of this compound? And they go in to see that someone has set new Corrigar to explode. They put a bunch of explosives in there. And Sinestro just, like, takes off his cap, takes a puff of his pipe, and goes, and I know exactly who did it! And that's where we leave off. So now it's Sinestro, detective extraordinaire, out there solving the case, closing it.
Get Sinestro.
It's another one of those framing issues. They've had these a bunch when it comes to the different cores of backstories of a bunch of the high level members of it, and I really like those stories. They had like Tales of the Sinestro Corps before, or just Tales of the Corps period, where you just get, hey, here's these two guys that you see in the background all the time, and kind of delve into them a little bit deeper so you can know who they are. I like those things. I like them a lot, and for an annual, that's the best place to put it, in my opinion. So moving on, what you got?
I've got Teen Titans Annual 1.
Oh, yeah. I didn't read this one, actually.
Okay. Well, Superboy just murdered a bunch of Durlans, and it's all over the news.
Oops.
So, just, investigating this is Detective John Jones.
Oh, wait a minute. I know that name.
A guy in a trench coat who actually really literally does not look anything like John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, because it's one of his human disguises. Human. And he's super mad at Superboy about doing that. So one of the girls that survived the massacre is a Durlan herself, and steals some of Manhunter's powers to get her and Superboy out of police custody. So Superboy and Ms. Durlan go off to hide with the Titans. They're not all super keen on harboring a murderer, but Ms. Durlan claims that Superboy didn't actually kill these people. It's all a setup.
Oh, well, that's kind of weird for a Durlan.
Yeah. So Manhunter shows back up, and Superboy just beats him senseless.
Wow.
Just beats him into submission. Most of the Titans go off with Superboy to clear his name. Like, hey, Wonder Girl, Power Girl, stay back here and just kind of pin down Martian Manhunter's shoulders, so if he gets up, he doesn't, come and hunt us or anything.
That seems like
he can't shapeshift out of that, right?
No, nor can he just turn intangible and just leave.
Just watch, occasionally poke him with a stick, make sure he's still breathing, I guess.
Well, if they light the stick on fire, it might work.
Oh, yeah. And while they're hanging back, they call up Manchester Black, who's been pretty shifty this entire time.
Yes, that's an understatement.
And he's kind of says like, hey, you and Wonder Girl, you and Power Girl, you're always questioning things. That's pretty cool. So he's going to calm down Martian Manhunter when he wakes up and convince him to let him send his other team after the Teen Titans, the Elite, which consists of a kid. He's going to have Wonder Woman and
Power Girl.
Wonder Girl and Power Girl team up with them, and his team is a Kid Flash, don't know who.
Okay.
It could be the same one from before. It's got the same basic costume, but they could have said, hey, this might make a little bit more sense and be a little clearer.
Wait, Bartor is there?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a Kid Flash.
Bartor.
Yeah. Guardian, the one from like Young Justice, that version of Guardian.
Gotcha.
Probably Mel Duncan, but I don't know. Some Indigo Lanterns. Do they have the ability to like split off into multiple people?
Not that I know of.
Because there's 3 young Indigo Lanterns who look very similar. I wasn't sure.
Their whole thing's redemption. They're all like mass murderers of the cosmos, and the ring makes them feel compassion.
Gotcha. And most importantly on the Elite, Clarion the Witch Boy.
Whoa. How did he get from where he was to there?
I don't know, he's hanging out with Manchester Black and summoning up gigantic snakes, apparently? Unless the snake is its own member. That'd be pretty cool.
Maybe this is the end of that day where all those things happen, and then at the end of the day, he was like, maybe I'll just join the Elite.
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys know anything about birds? I can tell you all about crows.
Yeah.
So Clarion's back, huh?
Clarion's back.
Clarion is back. Huh. That's really all I can say is,
Yep.
I guess we'll see how he's handled elsewhere.
We will see.
Yes.
We will see.
I hope he's just like he was in his own book, and it's so out of place everywhere he goes. Still good, though? Still better than the previous run?
Still better than the previous run. I think they might be throwing a few too many characters in here, but we will see. I'll let the story play out.
I think they're going to clean it up post-convergence and just kind of mess up the roster there.
I'm rather amused by the Derlin girl coming in and seeming like she's a Ms. Martian stand-in.
Yeah, that's what I assumed that was where they were going to go with that. All right, well, fair enough. I'm going to wrap up the half. I know a little weird, but we're wrapping up all of the weeklies, so I just pushed them all to the back half. So I'm going to wrap up this half with Harley Quinn number 16. And it's actually a pretty easy breezy run for us because if you recall, Harley Quinn believes she was overburdened. So many things. I'm part of a roller derby team. I'm working at a retirement home. I'm fighting crime. I'm taking care of this tenement building. Too many things. I should also take on a bunch of other people to be like subordinate Harley Quinns. And we'll have a Harley Quinn gang, so to speak, to take care of some of these things and get them off my plate. Ivy thinks it's a bad idea to bring on this many people because quite a few have shown up, and we get the Brian, what do you call it? The folder sliding across a desk issue of picking out who's going to be on the team.
Oh yes, finally, open up the files.
Well, this one is the interview.
The ghost of Van Morrison is singing "Come On, Baby, Open the Files."
No, this one's the interview one where she has bought the nearby hotel, the Dream and Seaman. And is going to use that as her base.
What?
The Dream and Seaman. Like a sailor. He's a seaman.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There's no double entendre here. What are you talking about?
It's Harley Quinn, man, you know?
And she's going to renovate that as the new house for all of the Harleys. And we get all of these interviews. I'm not going to go through them all because there were so many characters. But there's like this one punk metal girl that's telling her that, yeah, I hate everything establishment. And also, I see ghosts. So if you see me stabbing nothing, it's a ghost. I got a big chuckle out of that. We get a wheelchair-bound girl, the three from last issue. Cy Borgman's niece shows up because Cy Borgman said that there might be a good job for her there. Just hordes and hordes of all these different girls are showing up all over the place. And she just goes, there's just too many for me to decide. So here's what we're going to do. Everyone come into this room. I'm going to turn off the lights, and whoever is still standing when I turn them on is a member of the Harley gang, which immediately I felt bad for the girl in the wheelchair because she's probably not going to be one of the ones standing at the end. Wanna. But the lights do come on, and she is one of the survivors. The wheelchair girl is going to be like the administrative assistant of the whole thing and run the Harley house. And then while the lights go out though, there's a full page spread of the letterer complaining about how he had to fill the whole page with biff bams and booms and no one appreciates him and no one ever talks about the letterer and the creative team are all slave drivers and they keep making him make all these crazy sound effects and then they shuffle him off stage and they go back to the book. It was a nice little
Sandman Sims just shows up.
So the winners are given their new costumes and homes and the gang of Harleys are riding out. And that's where we're going to pick up post-convergence with a whole new storyline of a good 13 different girls and guy that are going to be riding out there as the gang of Harleys.
Get ready, cosplayers.
Get ready. And honestly, I think you were the one that told me that before, that they were trying their best to have so many different interpretations of Harley's costume in this book.
Mm-hmm.
And they deliver this one.
Yeah.
You got 14 variations, bam, on one page.
Yep.
So have fun, guys and gals.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's going to wrap up the first half. Brian, what do you got for round 2?
Batwoman Annual, Gotham Academy Endgame, the new 52 Futures End.
The end of the Futures End. I also have the end of Batman Eternal number 52, the wrap-up of that weekly. Batman and Robin Annual number 3, the end of Batman and Robin. Arkham Manor Endgame number 1. And last but not least, Earth 2 World's End number 26. That's how we're going to wrap up this show, so hold on a couple seconds. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will go through those books.
Yeah.
We're not back. We're not doing this anymore.
Okay.
New 52's over. That's it. You can't do it anymore.
Oh.
But we are back, and we're in the Bat half of the show. A lot of Batman stuff this time. But we're going to start off with the end of the weekly, Batman Eternal number 52. We made it an entire year through this book, Brian.
Man.
An entire year. It's
Yeesh.
impressive.
Yeah.
It's impressive. And we're dealing with the great big climax of everything that was happening, where Cluemaster stepped out and said, I was behind it all. And then, poor Cluemaster, when Lincoln March, the now one of the leaders of the Court of Owls, kind of his own little guy, killed Cluemaster and stepped out and said, nah, I'm going to take it from here. And now I'm going to torture you and kill you, Batman. And, they're going to fight each other, and it's not going so well. It didn't work out too well. Batman and Lincoln March are flying through the skies because Lincoln March has a jetpack, and they're stabbing each other.
Of course he does.
Of course he does. And they're stabbing each other, and they end up crashing down to the ground, and Batman puts together a quick little, impromptu Zorro mask so that he can fight in the streets. And, unfortunately, he is getting his butt kicked. He has just got done with a year's worth of fighting supervillains and flying all over the world and dealing with all this stuff. He's tired. He's been stabbed a couple times this evening already. Dude, just
drove a car off a building.
Yeah, crashed an F-16 into Bane up an hour earlier. I mean, it's been a really long day for Batman. So he's getting his butt kicked a little bit, and he's about to lose when all of a sudden Commissioner Gordon comes over the radio, the TV, the everything. They've taken over all transmissions, and all of the TVs in downtown Gotham all of a sudden are replaced with the bat signal, and every police district in the city shines a bat signal up into the sky, and he basically gives a speech about how Batman's been here for us this whole time. We need to help him out tonight. We're all Batman. Let's all rise up and help him out. And we see all of the other people are out there helping, and the citizens themselves, as well as the Bat family members. Catwoman's led the gang members out to help rescue people. Even Killer Croc's out there pulling people out of burning buildings and stuff. It's like, yeah, the city's coming together to stop Lincoln March, because, it's burning to the ground right now, and it's going to be really hard to have a good crime empire if it's all ashes around.
Yeah.
So just as Lincoln March is about to take down the Bat, that's when he turns around and he sees the entire Bat family is there. Catwoman, Talon, Spoiler, Batwoman, Black Canary, Tim Drake, Who else we got here? Harper Row. They're just all standing there like, yeah, we might have something to say about that. And he goes, uh-oh, might be a little outnumbered, throws a little bomb down on the ground, and then just runs away into the sewers. Whoop, 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 whoop. Never to be seen again.
Yep.
Right? We'll never see this guy again. And the majority of this issue, though, is the epilogue, where we're dealing with all of the aftermath from all of the stuff that has happened over the last year, where Bard, remember this guy, he's commissioner, or he was commissioner.
Yeah.
He's about to lose his job. He goes to talk to Vicky Vale.
Vale?
Yeah, who's about to run the truthful story about how he only took the job to get revenge against Batman and he's not a good guy. And Bard goes, you know what? It's fair. You can run the story, but let me tell you the entire story. Do you want to go out and get some dinner? And I'll fill you in from my point of view exactly what happened. And she's like, yeah, let's do that. Yay, they're friends at least. Maybe not friends, but she doesn't hate him and want him to die anymore.
Okay.
Batman visits Catwoman's hideout, finds Pharaoh Croc there standing guard going, you can't come in here. And all he says is, Croc, what the hell are you wearing? He's like, I like it. It's a new look for me. I thought I'd try something new. And it's the final conversation between Batman and Catwoman, where Catwoman goes, we're not palsies anymore. I helped you out with this, but I'm going to go my own way. I'm not the lovesick little kitty cat following you around anymore. We have our own paths moving forward. He's like, okay, but I'm watching you. Batman hates crime, just in case you forgot that. Corrigan and Batwing, though, are standing over the ruins of Arkham Asylum. And Corrigan's like, man, there's ghosts all over Gotham City now. Holy crap, this Arkham Asylum place must have had some bad juju in it because there are ghosts everywhere. Batwing, if you're up for it, I'm putting together a new team that Batman and Commissioner Gordon and I think needs to help deal with some of this magic stuff. And if you got some free time in the future, here's my card. Why don't you swing on by? The night shift could really use an angry Batman guy that just really hates this ghost stuff. And we think you're the guy to fill that role. Yes! May not happen, but it's a nice little setup. Yeah. Exactly where I figured it was going to go. And
they can call him in if they need him.
Exactly.
And he can put an armbar on some ghosts or something with his mixture of martial arts.
Put some nth metal on his elbow and just jump off the top rope and Barbara, meanwhile, is doting on her father, who is now out of jail. His name has been cleared. Still not a member of the police force. He did not get his job back. He's off doing his own thing right now. So I don't know exactly where they're going to be taking Commissioner Gordon moving forward, but he does not get his job back. He's not even a member of the Gotham PD right now. Jason also is doting on Barbara. He's sitting in a bar by himself, leaving and deleting voicemail messages to Barbara Gordon's voicemail like, hey, you know how we had like that moment like a couple issues back? Do you think there might be something there? No, delete. Hey, Barbara, it's me, Jason. What's up? How's it going, chica? He's like, no, don't delete. And finally,
do you like serrated knives? Yes, no, maybe? Check one.
But he finally decides that he's just not going to pursue that avenue whatsoever. And he calls up his buddy Arsenal and says, hey, Roy, come pick me up. Let's go pal around some more. And Roy's like, did you tell her? He's like, no, I didn't tell her. And Roy's just making fun of him the entire time. And they're going to go off and have their own little buddy adventures of being idiots off in the world with each other. Spoiler has moved in with Harper Row and her brother Cullen in this weird little house apartment thing that they got going on. Tim Drake visits and they have their meet cute googly eyes with Stephanie. And he's like just staring at her like, oh, you're so pretty. You're so pretty. And Harper starts busting his chops like, okay, this isn't awkward whatsoever. Not at all. So I guess they're just going to be buddy pals. I guess people were shipping Harper and Tim.
Oh.
But it looks more like it's going to be Harper's like his gal pal that just makes fun of him and ruins his love life, essentially. And Lincoln,
we all know who his true love is.
Lincoln March. We follow up on him as well. After escaping into the sewers, he was picked up by a little group of people known as the Court of Owls, who he betrayed and tried to take over from the inside at the end of the Court of Owls arc at the very beginning of the New 52. And they have locked him up in one of their sarcophaguses and said, oh, Lincoln March, you've been a bad, bad little Talon. So we're going to lock you up for a couple decades. Maybe next time when we wake you up, you'll be a little bit more pliable. And we'll go from there. And as the little sarcophagus lid comes over, he's just screaming, no! So I guess we won't see Lincoln March for a little while.
Okay.
And the last but not least, Batman and Gordon are standing on the rooftop when they get the call that Scarecrow is attacking Gotham City, much like the very beginning of Endgame. If you recall, that's where we came in, was right after the Scarecrow attack.
Yeah.
Where he was now set up in his new apartment because he doesn't have his house anymore, and blah, 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 blah. And he goes, hey, Gordon, you got one more in you? You want to go out there and then rustle some feathers up, some crows? I know all about crows now. Some guy rolled through here before and told me all about them. And that's where they go. They go zipping off with a badass page of Gordon and Batman back to back, about to head off and fight some crime. Yeah! Because Gordon also dislikes crime. He doesn't quite hate crime.
Yeah.
He doesn't devote his life to it. But he severely dislikes crime. He's not a fan of it, at the very least. Like, if crime had a Facebook page, Commissioner Gordon wouldn't like it.
No.
He wouldn't at all. He would probably just leave snarky comments like, crime? Really, guys? Come on. And that would be his stance on crime. So that's the end of Batman Eternal. A year long. What would be my best wrap-up of this whole thing? Good story, nice build on a lot of parts, stretched out, obviously very decompressed in the middle there. So because it wasn't focusing just on the Batman story itself, they were using it as a vehicle to get all of these side characters in, your Batwing stuff, your Corrigan stuff, Harper Row and Tim Drake and Spoiler. So they were using it more as a vehicle to set up the Batman universe.
It felt like a lot of it was just a spine to release all the new like titles and miniseries and stuff.
Exactly. We're going to take 52 issues to basically build the Bat universe up from the ground up, and now we have establishment, at least, so we don't have to waste the time moving forward that, we're going to meet these two for the first time, I think. Oh, no, everyone's already met at least once.
Yeah.
Now they are at least aware of each other's existences, and they can move forward from that point. So in that case, I think they did a good job.
Poor Cluemaster.
Yeah, except for Cluemaster, who really got the short end of the serrated knife there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it was fun for me. It was an entertaining way to do a lot of build up and set up and world building instead of just having a lot of dry, wasted arcs across many books. So moving on. What do you got?
Batwoman Annual number 2. Mark Andreyko finishing up his run with 1 million artists and inkers.
Wow. A million.
Million.
Wow.
Night of 1 billion artists and inkers.
Do they all just take a turn on each line? Like, I'm going to put a line here.
It was a magnificent it was an exquisite corpse. After the weird issue where they fought demons in space, the Unknowns team crashes back into Gotham City, which is now a medieval Gotham City thanks to Morgana Le Fay and her Sorcerer's Stone. But that was just a bookend in Jason Blood's apartment.
Was that a permanent magic, or is this like a temporary?
It's still
magic?
It's still a temporary magic.
Man, this magic stuff, I tell you, they really need to just lead off with the permanent magic.
Yeah, I know. It's they built the medieval Gotham City out of Sculpey, but they got to put in the oven for like 15 minutes per square inch on like a really low temperature. It takes a while to cook that magic permanently.
Do they just call up Central City and send over Heat Wave, and he just like has to stomp
but
through
then
the
you
entire
burn
city?
the outside and it doesn't work. It's not the same, Sean. It got to slow cook that magic Sculpey.
So is there like a slow cooker villain or something?
The Croc-Pot. Killer Croc-Pot.
Killer Croc-Pot. There you go.
All right. So they go undercover as Demon Knights and wind up facing off against a medieval Nocturna and the lovable H-list villains from the beginning of the Andreyko run, like Scatter the Cockroach Man and Man-O-War.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The guys that were in Arkham.
Yeah.
The locked in the basement, the little weird, it was the jellyfish conglomerate.
Yeah,
there?
they were just calling him Man-O-War, but he was the jellyfish conglomerate. It was that
I prefer
guy.
jellyfish conglomerate.
I know, right? So they do a big old gambit where they free the demon and reunite him with Jason Blood, beat up Morgana, and break the Sorcerer's Stone, and Gotham is back to normal.
Stupid non-permanent magic.
Yeah. Most importantly, Clayface and Ragman stay a team.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted there.
Clayface like turning into a normal guy and Ragman giving him a little sticker that says, "Hi, my name is Clay."
Yes, and they did the sploochy high five where they're just like...
Golem buddies. And Kate and Maggie have an ambiguous meeting to end out the series.
But are the Golem buddies going to have to get kicked out of their apartment and move into a all-girls dormitory?
No!
Oh, I would so read Golem buddies then.
Oh, man, I would so read Golem buddies.
I mean, it'd be easy for Clayface, really. Just like, okay, I look like a girl now. But then poor Ragman all the time. Just like a wig sticking out of all of his rags, like, I'm a girl. Golem buddies.
Why are your boobs vertical there, Ragman? Why is your name Ragman? No, it's
a Ragwoman.
It's Lindsay Ragman. That's all it is. Lindsay Ragman.
So many easy dark jokes that can be taken down that path.
And let's go on to Batman and Robin. What you got there, Sean?
Batman and Robin, the end of the Tomasi run of Batman and Robin. Again, the dad feels were strong. And it seemed like when we came into the New 52, I've gone back and read some of the transitional stuff to try to see how they did it there and everything like that. And the last issue there was this weird where they went off and fought Crime Nouveau and had this weird surrealistic battle through all the paintings and stuff like that. So it seems like he likes to end it on a very odd note. And in this case, Batman, after everything he's had to deal with, setting up play dates with the Justice League and dealing with Damian starting fires with his laser eyes before he lost his powers, he just wants some peace and quiet. And where do you go if you're Bat Dad for some peace and quiet? You sign up for monitor duty up on the watchtower and just go, silence. But Damian says, well, I had an open invite last time I was up there. Superman said I could come up to the watchtower whenever I want. So he takes one of the teleporters and reverse engineers it and turns it on so that him and Titus can go up to the watchtower, and they're running around going, ooh, what's this button do? Ooh, what's this camera do? Oh, what's that over there? Does this shoot laser beams all over? Pew, 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 pew. And Batman's just going, I just wanted one night. Just one night. But they notice on the monitors that one of the NASA moon landers is all powered up and the lights are on and there's silhouettes moving around inside. And they're like, well, that's not right whatsoever. So come on, son, we're going to take a rocket ship and fly over to the moon. And that's what they do. And they take their little moon lander and they drive around on the moon, head on over to the pod, and they find inside a bunch of aliens who have used the DNA inside the abandoned spacesuits on the moon landers to start to turn into pod people versions of America's initial space explorers. So it's like Buzz Aldrin, alien Goofy Monster, and Neil Armstrong Goofy Monster, and rah, rah, rah. And they are plotting to invade Earth and use their gloopy copy powers to pod people Earth and eventually take it over. And the rest of the issue is quite literally Batman and Damian fighting off the gloopy zombie clones of America's pioneers of space. As they try to defend Earth.
Does Buzz Aldrin slowly fade away, shaking his fist at the moon?
The moon! But no, it's they end up taking over the spaceship that they were going to use that they've built out of all of the other moon landers and detritus that they've found lying around the moon. Because apparently the moon, as we know, has so much technology on it. Yes. So much technology. They're just going to fly over to Earth. Batman takes control of it, and with Damian and all of the gloopy zombie monsters are trying to get in. He goes, hey, Damian, they're just going to come outside and try to enter in from the outside, so go break the handle off the outside of the door there. And as Damian runs over to do that, quite literally, Batman goes, badoop, and kicks him out of the spaceship while screaming, tuck and roll, boy, tuck and roll. Because he's going to fly
Father of the Year.
Yeah.
Watch out, Dick Grayson.
He's coming for your title. But it's a one-way mission. Batman's going to fly it off into space and detonate it, so he doesn't want, obviously, Damian to come along. So Damian heads back to the ship and just flies tandem with the other ship as Batman detonates it, and then just kind of jumps out into space. Because as we learned in Earth 2 World's End, humans are tougher than they look. They can do that. Mm-hmm. And Damian is able to reel him in. And they fly the spaceship, the remains of it, They changed the actual landing place into the volcano on Hawaii, and then they just watch as it crashes into the volcano, and they go, "Yay, Batman and Robin, best team ever!" Woo! And they land on the beach, and as they're looking up at the night sky, seeing all the stars shining brightly, they go, "Yeah, you know what? Things are looking good. What do you see up there, Damian?" And Damian's like, "I see infinite possibilities. The future is just mine to take." "What do you see, Dad?" He's like, "I see pearls. Like the ones my mom wore when she died." And it's like, Batman, come on, man. You had a moment here. Freaking bat downer. Like I just showed you with the whole Jon Snow at the dinner party.
Yeah, you don't take Jon Snow to a dinner party.
But no, it's I forget where I read it. It was either Reddit or CBR or one of them, where it's actually a very nice thing where it's Damian is stuck looking at the future and the mantle that he's going to have to take and what he's going to have to live up to, and his dad is stuck holding on to the past and everything that's driving him forward and making him do things. And it's kind of this moment where the two intersect at the end there, and which, if you look at it that way, it's a very nice ending to the whole thing. Mm-hmm. But it's just kind of like, dude, Bad Dad, time and place, my man, time and place. So that's it, and Titus is there with him.
Nice.
Roof, roof.
Bark, bark.
Yay, team. Really like these two. Really liked them a lot. I thought Tomasi and Gleason did an amazing job with all of these Batman and Robin stories. And again, it's just a weird little ending to it. Just one last adventure with them to do something goofy and kind of palate cleanser, I guess is a good term for it.
I guess, yeah.
A palate cleanser to end it off so that anyone can pick it up from there and go any direction. So next up.
All right, Gotham Academy Endgame, #1 and
Holy
only.
crap.
What do you mean?
I really like the format of this book, and I kind of hope they do this more often.
All right, so the kids are trapped in the gym in tents waiting out the Joker zombie infestation of Endgame. So Maps, who only knows about Joker because he ruins her cartoons once a year, not unlike all of the World War II memorials that just made me... It's like, oh, I don't care if it's Veterans Day. I just want to see... what Darkwing's doing this week. Come on. So that means it's because she doesn't know, it's time for all of her friends to do scary Joker stories.
Scary stories.
Ooh, bust out the flashlight. Underlight your face. So Pameline tells a story which is illustrated by Cleo Chang, an illustrator and story artist for Disney Features Animation.
Okay.
Yes. It looks gorgeous. And it's a story about an evil Joker mask that you can buy at like the store, and it's all spooky and hoo-hoo.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very Goosebumps.
It's very Goosebumps.
Very Goosebumps.
I was gonna say, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Okay, I mean, it's same vein.
A little less wacky.
Yeah, I guess so. But it still had that feel to it where, I mean, it was a much grimmer
well, yes.
Are You Afraid of the Dark than Are You Afraid of the Dark, obviously, but still had that R.L. Stine vibe to it.
All right, and then Professor McPherson comes in, and she tells a story because, these kids like, oh, you got a scary Joker story. I've got one, too. I could be friends with you. I'm a cool teacher.
Yeah, don't you guys like me? Like me.
Yes. This is illustrated by Joy Ang, who does like children's books and is an Adventure Time character designer.
Okay.
Again, still looks flippin' gorgeous.
Man, they are pulling in some talent for this book.
Seriously, it's like everyone from my Tumblr feed like, we're doing stuff on Gotham Academy
and
next month.
And you just do cartwheels around your computer.
I just giggle and roll around on the floor.
Kicking your feet up in the air like,
Yeah, and because it's Professor McPherson, she's like, this isn't Joker, but this is a very similar entity from a story in Scotland about an evil demon jester that comes around and forces people to, party and laugh and smile until they die.
Duh.
And then Olive finishes off with hers, illustrated by Vera Brosgol, who works for Leica.
Okay.
Your Coralines and Paranormans and whatnot. It's about kids who try to summon the Joker, Candyman style, and then a kid gets stuck. His face gets stuck that way for making that face too long.
He has been warned. He has no one to blame but himself, really. Yes. I don't know a single child that has not been told that their face will stick if they keep making that face.
Yes. And Map's contribution to this, which she didn't tell a scary Joker story, although she loved all of them. She's like, oh my gosh, I love being scared. I'm the best character ever. She also says, like, well, we're going to be safe because the Custodian is watching over us. It's this mythical character that, protects over Gotham Academy, the Custodian.
And they brought it up before in the first issue.
Yeah, and we see we get to see that the custodian is Headmaster Hammer, like dressed up like a Three Musketeer.
I was going to say Van Helsing.
Okay, it is a little Van Helsing. That is a pretty big hat he has on.
It's a very
big hat.
And that's immediately what makes me go Van Helsing, giant hat.
Yep. Mr. Van Helsing, your hat precedes you.
No, I absolutely love the format, though, that whenever these big things are happening in Gotham, that they're on lockdown and that they can have their own little insular adventure inside the school.
It's their Treehouse of Horror, or with the similar thing that I've seen them do on Adventure Time, or
it's
Futurama.
Such a great, it's touching on it. You're seeing it, how it affects outside of just the main characters swinging around the city doing stuff, and the people are on lockdown. Some of them are really scared. Some of them are just kind of like, again, really? Didn't we just do this last Tuesday? Oh, my cartoons. Ah, screw you, Joker. Ah, man. No, I really like that vibe of it, and it gives them an excuse to go off of their storyline, derail their storyline, and do something a little different as well. So, I loved it. Yep. Absolutely loved it.
It was great.
Yes, and that's a surprise, I'm sure, to everyone that we enjoyed this title yet again. Next up, I have Arkham Manor Endgame, which was kind of a weird... I don't want to say tack on, but it felt like a tack on. It just felt like, well, here, do an Endgame issue, because it really had nothing to do with everything that preceded it in Arkham Manor. It's post the Joker stuff going on, and Detective Bullock is grilling one of the guards by the name of Stone on what happened that night. Obviously, something went down, and this guard is telling him the story about how the Joker came in and started spreading toxin all over the place throughout the manor. Most of the inmates and staff turned into the Joker zombies that were running around, but some of them, oddly, were immune, including him. The other people that were immune were the people that were already so altered by chemicals and poisons and whatnot, like your Banes, your Poison Ivies, Scarecrow, Mr. Freeze, Clayface. They were all immune because they already have so many toxins in them anyway that it was just like, okay. The Mr. Burns gambit, where they all can't get through the door at the same time. So the inmates look to the guard to lead them off to safety, and they fight their way through until they're confronted by the Joker, and the Joker starts mocking them, and finally the guard is just like, I'm gonna die anyway, so I might as well do this, and punches the Joker in the face, and that's when the wig goes flying, and we find out it was actually Jeremiah Arkham dressed up as the Joker, who has flipped his lid and gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and was throwing around Joker toxin all over the manor itself. And he's been locked up in the manor at the end. Stone gets released. They're not going to charge him with anything like that. And all of the Arkham inmates, that particular crew, had escaped, obviously escaping off into the middle section of Batman Eternal there, where they were locked up in a house and they were trying to figure out... Remember the Greek restaurant?
Oh, yeah.
All those characters were like, okay, we got out. What if we all work together against Batman? That's where they end up escaping off into. So it's kind of a tie-in to how those characters got free and Arkham going insane, because they were kind of hinting at it throughout Arkham Manor. But other than that, it was there. It was there. I can't really disparage it because it was an Endgame one-shot, but it was still just felt very tacked on as a why not? We'll get one more issue out there of this. Yep. So what did we got?
So we're going on to the final installment of the far future of 5 years from now.
Are we 5 years or are we 35 years? I think we're 35 years now.
It might be 35 years.
Yeah, 35 years in the future.
It's the new 52 Futures End number 48.
Aww.
Yeah. So we start off with former Red Robin Tim Drake, who, as we all know, has been living under the name Benedict Cumberbatch.
Why?
Yes!
No. You do not get a Queen backdrop. Get out of here. No, done. Never, ever again.
Oh my gosh, I've prepared a speech.
No, you do not get a speech.
44 weeks ago, when I decided that Cal Corcoran was a stupid name, I had no idea that I'd be able to stretch out a Benedict Cumberbatch joke this long.
Are you sure
but
you don't want to go?
I finally made it.
4 score and 4
I'd
issues
like
ago.
to thank so many people. I'd like to thank the new 52 Futures End creative team, both the writers for keeping in the story this long, and especially for all the artists who kept drawing so many pictures of Tim Drake cleaning out a dirty glass with a rag.
No.
I'd like to thank my lovely wife, Kelly. I'm so sorry she couldn't be here right now. my agent, the Academy.
I'm playing you off. I'm playing you off.
So many people. Is there anyone else I should be thanking? I can't think. Nerves, pins and needles.
You done? Are you done? Seriously? Because that was a little much, I think.
So anyway, Benedict Cumberbatch, who, as we all know, is currently wearing the Batman Beyond armor, was looking up at something last issue.
That's what we had. That's literally what we had. He was just like, oh my God, it's full of stars.
Yeah. And we find out that what he's looking at is a beautiful monument to all of the heroes of Future's End.
Aww.
And Wonder Woman. Where was Wonder Woman in all of this?
I don't know. Maybe she was just hanging out somewhere.
Maybe. And
Little did we know, she actually is the one that saved everyone.
Yes.
She was just running all over the place, killing spider robots left and right. And like, why isn't anyone following my adventures?
Yeah.
It's really important.
And who should he see taking care of the monument but Madison Payne?
Aww.
They make out, but oh no, it's really Brother Eye.
Oh.
Mr. Terrific is there, and he's all sad, and he failed miserably, and oh no, spider robots have come to assimilate Benedict Cumberbatch. But what if there's a ping-wing spider robot? He'll have no defense.
Oi.
No defense at all.
Oi.
He won't be able to pronounce his name and tell him to go away. Go away, Pingling.
You done?
Go away.
Are you done?
And then suddenly a dystopic freedom fighter comes in and saves Benedict with a bunch of other dystopic freedom fighters. It's 35 years from now, Ray Palmer, the Atom, and he's got Amethyst and Madison Payne with him.
Oh, hey.
They kidnap...
Well, wait a minute. This is 35 years in the future. Mm-hmm. She was already in her 20s, so this is like 50-odd-year-old?
We'll get there.
Okay.
So they kidnap/save Mr. Terrific as well. So you know what that means. It's time for Batman Beyond Benedict Cumberbatch to make out with an old lady.
Oh.
I've heard about your May December romances, but this is ridiculous. So all is lost. It's the future. Brother Eye has won regardless of everything that's happened in the story so far. He's taken over the entire frickin' moon.
Okay.
Batman Beyond is not the character that we thought Batman Beyond was going to be. And everyone's just like, wow, this really sucks, doesn't it? And Tim Drake goes, no, we're still alive. And
that's the freeze frame?
Yeah. That's it. It's there's no like...
The happy ending of this is that Tim Drake survives
and gets to be Batman Beyond instead of the character everyone likes is Batman Beyond?
I like the ending to last issue better.
Yeah. What's that? Oh, it's that?
Oh.
Okay. And it's like there's not even any like where to read next or this is going to continue on Convergence. It's just okay,
it was a backdoor pilot.
He's looking at the moon.
Is what you're telling me, is the last issue was a backdoor pilot for Batman Beyond.
I guess. But
I guess.
But is that what people want? I mean...
Tim Drake Batman Beyond?
Tim Drake Batman Beyond?
What has Tim Drake been doing in the present?
He's on the Titans, if anything.
Well, yeah, I guess he's had a little bit more redeeming recently.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, how are they going to do that? Well, I guess it's 5 years in the future, Tim Drake, that went into the future.
But that's just extra confusing.
So they can do the present day. Yeah, that works. They could do that.
Couldn't we just have Terry, grab Plastique and jump into the future instead?
Yeah.
I would have liked that a lot.
That would have been pretty much...
That would have been something that I would have been really interested in buying.
Maybe Terry will be... Actually, it was just a flesh wound, and he's fine in the present day. And now
maybe Convergence is just going to say, forget all that.
Yeah, but like...
Sorry you bought all those 48 issues, everybody.
No, the journey was fun there.
Journey was fun.
You can't say it wasn't. Yeah, maybe they didn't stick the landing on that one, but... I mean, I hate when an ending is a backdoor pilot.
Yeah.
I'm blatantly going to say that. I hate a backdoor pilot as an ending because that's not an ending. That's you bought this, so if you want the rest, go buy that.
I tuned in for an episode of Married with Children. Who are all these kids hanging out in a mall? I'm very confused.
Yeah, what is this? So it didn't stick the landing, but the journey was fun. If you stop with last issue, it was a good ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just don't read the last issue.
Yeah. Just very confused when you think about, people reading superheroes because someone who they want to be. Do they want to be a dude who gets thrown into the future and makes out with old ladies?
Yeah. Yeah, that's my dream, man.
I guess so.
That's my dream. Right. Because in the future, I'll be old.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. I'm still making out with ladies.
You'd rather be young in the future.
So, last but not least, in an odd reversal of roles, Earth 2 World's End number 26. I've heard the phrase saving the best for last. And that's kind of what they did here. Kind of said, damn the other 25 issues, and then put out a really decent ending issue. I'm being a little overly harsh on it. It's been improving over the last, 8 issues or so. Discounting the whole Dick Grayson stuff. I'm blatantly going to say that. But without that, it's had a steady improvement as far as focus is the key operating word. It's had a little bit more focus in where it was trying to go and what it was trying to do. But that middle was so meandering that it kind of took a lot of steam out of it for me. But in this one, we get a very strong ending. It's the final showdown where Green Lantern, aka Alan Scott, Val Zod, Power Girl, and Red Tornado are facing off against Darkseid, but to no avail. They're getting beat down. Wajja. You can't stand up against those Omega beams. Just Omega beam and everything, I guess.
Okay.
Above, things are also dire. I mean, it's so bad on Earth 2 that Oracle has shown up. Remember that giant space thing that just flew by whenever Earth was going to blow up in Superman?
Okay, so that Oracle.
That Oracle is just like...
So it's also a multiversal entity, all right.
Yep, and it's just kind of floating out there, and they're like, what's that? I don't know, I heard it's the Oracle. It shows up when stuff's going bad. Huh. And that's all they say about it. Flash is desperate to save his mom back down on Earth 2, so he ends up finding her and getting her to one of the escape crafts, and then has this... The entire arc of the Flash has been that he doesn't want to be a hero. He just wants to protect his mom and his friends and his family. And it pays off in this issue where he finally has to come to the decision of getting his mom on the escape craft and saying, I have to leave you here. There's other people that need help. I'm going to go help them as well. And he runs off to help them. As I said, it was a full arc for the character. It worked. It worked very, very well for him. You actually feel bad for him. You see he's making a hard choice. But you're like, yeah, you're doing the right thing, Flash. Get out there and do it. So again, nothing but praise there. They had a good start to that arc and they had a good end to that arc. The middle could have used some tweaking, I think. Meanwhile, Green Lantern, Alan Scott, has pulled in all of the power from the entire multiverse because when they opened up the portal to try to get all of the other spaceships in the arcs so that they could get the population of Earth 2 off, he was able to tap into all of the other Earths green, and he punches Darkseid so hard.
How hard does he punch him?
You know the pretty classic depiction of the multiverse where it's all the Earths stacked on top of each other type of thing. He does an uppercut that leaves a trail of Earths like a multiversal punch of doom, which was a great visual to show that he's pulling all of the power from the different Earths and just going whoop-a-zow and punching Darkseid in the face. Again, great visual, great payoff to what he's been doing. They have their multiversal punch of many planets. And as he uses the last of his powers, he sends all of the survivors that are there, except for the heroes that are still fighting on Earth 2, up to the escape crafts. And Mr. Terrific, Jimmy Olsen, Steel, Sato, the Queen of the Aquawoman, I guess, Power Girl, Huntress, Mr. Miracle, Fury, they all get ported back up onto the spaceships as well, and they have to make the hard call. We gots to go because Apocalypse slams shut over Earth 2 as we see it actually full on digesting the planet. Parts of it are dissolving away as it slams shut, and Earth 2 is no more. As well as Batman, Dick Grayson, Green Lantern, Val Zod, and Flash, who were stuck on the planet, surely never to be seen again. Unless someone would be going around collecting Earths right at their final moments, or at least portions of them. But who would be crazy?
No one would be
do
doing
that?
something like that.
I mean, it's not like there would be anything like that going on anytime in the near future. But it ends with Apocalypse Darkseid going, well, our conquest is complete. Let me check the gas tank of Apocalypse here. Taps the little meter. Full tank. Okay, guys, we're fully supplied. I guess we're ready for phase 2. Let's take the war elsewhere, which I'm assuming is going to be the fight against the Anti-Monitor, since those two are both building up their power bases, since Anti-Monitor just took over Earth 3 and is using all of its resources to build up his army to destroy Darkseid. So, wow, these two are kind of juggernauts. They're eating entire Earths to have their fight. Make sure that you can't fight on an empty stomach, right?
Yeah.
Again, the strongest ending, the strongest issue, I think, in my opinion, of all of the Earth 2 Worlds Ends, and it acts as a transition. It's a straight lead-in to Convergence. And I just got done saying with Future's End, I hate backdoor pilots for all this stuff. This one from the get-go I felt was already going to be a backdoor pilot into Convergence as soon as it was announced, and this Earth wasn't going to make it. Hey, here's the premise of Convergence. Someone's pulling off pieces of planets as they're about to be destroyed. Pay no heed to the fact that Earth 2 is literally a shell of its former self and is hanging, like bits of it are just hanging off the side, and there's no way we're going to put that planet back together. There's no correlation there whatsoever. So I guess maybe I've had time to come to grips with that being the backdoor pilot lead-in to Convergence. So I know I'm being a hypocrite, but... but it was strong. I liked it. I liked it a lot. But that's it. We were going to do Convergence 0. This also came out this week, but our next episode's coming out in 2 days, and it's the beginning of the Convergence Week 1 stuff, so we figured it would make more sense to tack it on at the beginning of that episode. You guys can wait 2 days.
Yeah.
I don't think you were going to get 2 days. It's probably going to be like a day and a half by the time this posts, so patience, young Padawans. Patience. Brian... What do I always say at this point? Come on, you're the host extraordinaire over there. The host with the most.
You should buy these books.
Yeah.
Because if you don't buy them, they won't make them.
Correct.
And we won't have anything to do.
Correct. See, that wasn't that bad. Again, we're at the very, very end of the New 52 here.
Yeah.
Fully understand if you don't want to jump on at this point. You can go back and pick up the trades of some of the stuff that interested you, though.
If you like pretty pictures, get that Gotham Academy Endgame.
Yep. And those of you that fell off of the Earth 2 World's End, that it just wasn't scratching that itch, the last couple issues, if you hop back in at that point, maybe the last 5 or 6, I think you'll find them more to your liking than the middle section there. If you have the same issues with it as I did, it meandered a little bit too much. And the last 5 or 6 really brought in the focus there and kind of paid off a lot of the stuff they were doing.
If you've somehow never seen, Batman punching man-bats before, you can pick up Batman Superman Annual.
If you don't have eyeballs and just got them and want to see Batman punch a man-bat, you can do so.
Yeah.
But that's it. Next week, though, it starts, Brian. It begins. Well, technically, already begun because we're recording. So let's talk about Convergence, because that's
actually, according to how you spell this in here, it's called Convergence.
Convergence. It's the other event going on. But it's the
Convergence featuring Irma Gerd.
It's a stopgap while DC is moving its offices that is basically a well, you know what, we'll talk about it mostly next episode, but it's a bunch of the different Earths from the past, present, and future all coming together and having a battle royale on who gets to survive and be reestablished into the quote-unquote New 52 multiverse. And we'll leave it at that. So next week we have Convergence number 0, Convergence number 1, Convergence Batgirl, dealing with the, basically almost all of these books are dealing with the right before Flashpoint world. So if you took a picture right before Flashpoint, the old 52, I guess, the pre-52, I don't know what you'd call it. That's where these books are taking place with these versions of the characters. So we have Convergence Batgirl number 1, which is Stephanie Brown, Cassandra Cain, and Tim Drake as the main characters in that one. We have Convergence Batman and Robin, which is dealing with Batman and Damian right before the New 52. And Jason Todd shows up with a serrated knife or 2. So we'll see what he has to say. Harley Quinn palling around with Poison Ivy and Catwoman. I guess they were besties back in the day.
They have their own series.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, Gotham City Sirens.
Huh, I'll be damned. Convergence Justice League, which seems to be a nice little party of all the gals hanging out. Convergence Nightwing Oracle, dealing with those two trapped under the dome. Convergence Speed Force number 1. I didn't realize Speed Force was an actual thing when we were making fun of it all those issues ago.
Really?
Yeah. Don't you remember the wheelchair guy, or not, the Segway guy?
Oh yeah.
And we were just like, yeah, we're the Speed Force.
Yeah. Oh man, if only.
What was his name? Overdrive or something?
God, I can't remember. He was our favorite for such a long time.
Convergence Superman, dealing with Superman and Lois Lane as the married couple once more. Convergence the Atom, where I guess he found another atom that's smaller. Convergence The Question, dealing with Renee Montoya Question. Convergence Titans, Looks to be Arsenal, Donna Troy, and Starfire right before the Flashpoint time frame. And that's going to be all of the books for next week. So they're all going to be dealing with some stuff, and it's going to be a little confusing for those of you that just came in for the New 52, but we'll try to explain it as best we can. I'll be leaning on Brian quite a bit. And he'll be doing the same for the Flashpoint stuff for me.
Yeah.
Because I know that stuff and he doesn't. And, yeah. So if you do want to contact us, we are going to get back on track with questions. Probably not in the next episode, but in the very, very near future. You can do so where, Brian?
On the internet.
Yeah, just search us. You guys know how the internet works. We're DCR Podcast. Feedback at DCRpodcast.com. We're not going to be
everyone who left me messages on Tumblr, I just noticed that you've been leaving me messages on Tumblr. Tumblr doesn't tell me when I get messages anymore.
Tumblr's very rude like that. Mm-hmm. Man, Tumblr. But yeah, feel free to reach out. I'm going to be catching up here in the next week or so on some of the backlog of correspondence. I try to respond to it as much as I humanly can. But if you do not have anything else, Mr. Brian Glein.
I've got one minor little thing.
Okay. You always have one minor little thing.
Yeah. I'm just going to start. If you want to find me on Tumblr, I'm at thebriang.tumblr.com.
Why are you pimping yourself? What are you doing?
I'm just trying to do something that I wanted to do 4 months ago and just start drawing more.
What are you drawing?
Pictures.
Of what? Dinosaurs?
Stuff I like.
Are you drawing pictures of popsicles?
Could at one point, I'm sure.
Draw a picture of a popsicle, and I'll check out your Tumblr.
Okay.
But that's going to wrap us up for this week. So from all of us here, enjoy your books, enjoy your week, enjoy your lives, and we're going to talk to you in like a day. So talk to you then.